Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That means smart men flying, by the way. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. By the way, you only can make comments or questions during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos at Saturday at John's Garage, the contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the like button. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all, so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Comments, share the videos, all these things help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please also consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I am a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account, and I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't miss it either. You can also support us using the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box over here. And any amount would be welcome. Please, the more the merrier. We definitely could use your support, because all these activities, the YouTube channel memberships, the super chats, they all help offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. So we need your help, and I believe we make a good product that should be supported. Now, with your memberships, you also get access to unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm only in here just twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. Let me repeat that. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there, even if they're repeated. And place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his Junar XL, which at that time was one of the best flying planes I've ever flown. It's light and big. Just an incredible ship, and it was actually my bucket list moment. I was flying at the U.S. Nationals, my first time there, my first official flight, and Sparky captured on video. So go to my YouTube channel, check it out. Give me a like if you like it. And if you don't like it, tell me why you don't like it. And but leave me a message or a question or a comment, and I will be able to get back to you quickly because that's my YouTube channel, and this one is not. This is Sparky's YouTube channel. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. And without any further ado, I'm going to go and post the link now at Stunthangar. And let me see if I can find the link. Where did it go? Okay, pardon me. I have a couple browsers up. There we go. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to post the link right now. And if you are a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can go to the Stunthangar Forum website and click on the link with today's date. That's Friday, April 22nd. To click on that. And let me go to YouTube, and I'm going to go to the what I call the control panel and see what's happening there. Hopefully it's streaming well, and we have some people waiting for us. Hope this is Friday night. I mean, you know, not everybody has to go to work tomorrow morning, so we can party. Let me just another click or two, and I'll be there. Let's see. All right, looks like we are streaming. And let me see here. So we have 9 concurrent viewers right now. And Tom Rammel, he's the first one in. Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate that. Like provided. Fantastic. Let me know if my audio and video is okay. Tom, I definitely appreciate that. And let me edit a little bit of this channel here. I got to. So anyways, I was kind of behind, and so I stayed up all night. Yeah, that's right. I did not sleep last night. I was working on my SV11, and I had to redo what I had initially had done. Looks like Tom Creasy is coming in, and so I was determined. Hey, Tom, thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate it.
How you doing?
I'm tired. I pulled an all-nighter. I had so many things going on this week with my kids and our household, but I was determined to make some changes to my electric SV11 so I could fly it today. So I had actually really been enjoying this one artist, John Batiste. He won 5 Grammys at the Grammys this year. And I've been checking out his music. He's quite a musician, and really liked him very much. So I was just playing mostly his music on YouTube, just autoplay. So I stayed up all night working on my SV11 because my red Strega is out of commission. It's absolutely is worn out. I think I got everything you could possibly get out of that plane. And so I turned my attention back to my SV11, which I had started last year. And there's I think it's still called a wing saddle, but it's on top. Normally the wing saddle's on the bottom, but I'm just going to call it a saddle. You know, it's on top. I'm not sure what to call it. But I had made that removable last year so that I'd have access to the push rod coming from the bell crank, right? Well, when I flew the plane, it was very difficult to do an inside loop. I mean, it wouldn't even want to turn. And then on outside loops, it would flip on its tail. And Dennis started missing I mean, I have guys who actually think about me. It's amazing. He actually was thinking what could be causing that, and his suspicion, I believe, is correct. When I fly my plane, it'll be proof positive. But so, anyways, Dennis suspected that it was opening up. The fuselage was opening up across the center sheeting of the wing, because I just had that thing covering the center section just with some screws. And attached to what I called bridges. Anyways, so I did away with all that, but those bridges I had, which were 1/8-inch aircraft ply spanning the center section of the wing from leading edge to trailing edge, I wanted to remove all those. And then for that saddle to go on top of it, I had put slots to go over the bridges that I had put. So I had a lot of work to do, and I had to, so it took me all night. So I work all night. And I see you, John. You just finished the story. So I'm in the garage all night, have my music jamming, and it's about 6:30 in the morning or so. I open my garage door. Come to my surprise, the ground's all damp. I didn't hear it rain last night, and it's like, oh my God, because the weather's been so beautiful for the last week. I didn't even think to check the forecast. I just knew it was going to be another spectacular, beautiful day in Southern California. And so if I would have known that, I wouldn't have stayed up all night working on the plane. So that's my situation today. So,
I grew up in Southern California, and I tell you one thing,
mm-hmm.
the weather there is usually really nice, but not always.
That's right. Not 100%. And it's been beautiful. So anyway, so I'm just like, oh my goodness.
We've had 40, 50 degree weather with wind chill of 37.
Yeah, that's a little bit too cold.
We've had 30-mile-an-hour winds, 40-mile gusts, and rain back here in the Midwest of Illinois.
Well, here in Utah, where I'm at, central Utah, right now it's 46 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy. The wind is blowing from the south all day, and steady 25 to 30-mile-an-hour gusts with gusts up to about 50. So definitely not good flying weather. And it's been that way. It's been that way all freaking last 4 days.
At least with the weather like it is, I can at least work on my airplanes.
Yeah. How you doing, Gary?
Hi.
I've managed to get a few things done that now I'm getting closer and closer to getting into the shop and finishing building something. So I'm building I'm fixing a little pistol crossbow that I'm going to use to run a line up over the tree for my ham radio antenna. I want to get that up before the leaves all get on real thick, because it's hard to get them up there with all the leaves there. So at that I got fixed. I just got to string it and go down and buy me a cheap little fishing reel, and I'm ready to go with that tomorrow. And so I guess after that, I've got no excuse. I got to get in there and work in the shop.
Yeah, well, I worked last night. I really was focused. I don't do it too often, those all-nighters, but the guys I fly with, they have seen me do that before. This one I'm working on bringing a new plane to the field.
Which one are you working on?
The SV11, the electric.
Oh, you're getting it back up to go again, huh?
It's actually ready to go now. It is. I basically put it back to where it should have been in the first place, and that's what that I'm not sure what to call it, but that hatch covers now. That part that covers the center section of the wing, which has the canopy in it, it is now epoxied down in place. And I really went to great lengths to make sure I filled all the voids that it had before from me modifying it, and so that it can't be squeezed. And it's in my opinion, it's a really good result. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to flying it. I'm not sure when, maybe Monday.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to see it, some tools I made?
Sure.
Oh, very good. Yeah, those are very handy to make your fillets, right?
Yeah.
Make them big. There we go.
Just cleared out different size ball bearings.
Very good. Yes, that's
yep.
Yeah.
5
you
different sizes.
You built it. No, I bought mine. I bought mine on eBay. I bought some cake decorating tools, which look just like that.
This didn't take too long.
No. And when you put your hand on your tool you made, work on the plane, it just adds to the enjoyment of our hobby.
Yeah, it does. It makes things a lot easier. Getting ready to do the fillets on this behind me.
Very good.
Yep. Right now, I'm going to put, while we're talking tonight, I'm going to put some dope on it. So you got the covering all done today. Actually did the wing tips and didn't get any any. There's some compound tight radiuses right there on them wingtips. Didn't get any wrinkles.
All right.
Cool.
Took a long time.
Now, last time you said you're gonna apply the clear with spray with the spray gun, right? Or are you gonna brush it on?
What's that?
Are you gonna apply the dope with a spray gun, or are you gonna apply the dope with a brush?
No, this one's all silk span. The other plane that you see on the floor ahead of it, it's ready for, it needs sanding. That was polyspan. Now I used the spray gun on it to spray the clear. Let me tell you, that helped big time.
Oh, very good.
Big time. Then I put 2 coats of spray on it, and then the rest of it I can brush.
Now, this plane here on the helper there, is that going to be applied with the spray or with the brush, the dope?
I'm going with a brush and see what the brush does.
Oh, okay.
So this is the one that this plane here is the one I stripped with stripper. So it's coming along. I made a cheek for it. It's right there. It's hollowed out, but it's mainly to hide my blind nuts, because I had to redo the mount when I put a 4-stroke on it.
Yes. Yes.
So I wanted to redo the mount and might want to tear a whole bunch of stuff apart. So I was like, well, I'll just make a cheek for it. It ain't not perfect, but
Oh, I like it.
it's just a little shorty and kind of just disappears, feathers back. I mean, it's nothing big. But
No, but
this plane
that's-
here, I'm gonna try my hand at 3D airbrushing. I want to 3D some exhaust on that cheek, and this P40 is not gonna have the shark teeth on it. It's gonna have the skull.
You'll paint it green then, I take it.
Pardon?
I take it you're gonna paint it green then with the skull?
Yep.
That'll look good.
Using my 50-cent paint job.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get $1.50's worth of finish out of a 50-cent.
Well, being a beginner and it's just, to me, I just don't see putting a really high dollar finish on it when my chances of crashing is a lot higher than if you guys were flying. So
But that'll come just with time. You just
yep.
with the experience, you go, oh, that's what it feels like. And then when I get that feeling again, I'll know to not continue that maneuver, to bail on it or something. You just don't know. You don't know what you're missing until you experience it.
I haven't flown for 3 years.
Oh, well, you'd be surprised your muscle memory, because the biggest time that I didn't fly had been like 30 years had transpired since I had flown at that time, and it just came right back to me. It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, I haven't flown for,
I'm hoping.
I think maybe 3 flights I've flown since 2012 when I had my accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I see the lone divers here. What if he's got any painting tips for us?
Yeah.
Hey, Howard, thanks for coming in. And hi, Tryon. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it, you guys. Well, that looks pretty, Tryon.
I know.
Oh, Tryon and John, send me your.
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, John, send me your email address, and I'll send you that file.
Okay.
I had an email address for you, but it was extinct.
Oh, you had the old one. Yeah. Probably went to AOL.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I'll PD do a private message, PM you.
Okay.
On the forum here.
Okay.
Hey, Gordon came down to visit me yesterday.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and he brought that twin down. I'm here to tell you, that twin looks a whole lot better even in person than other than pictures. My
Wow.
goodness. I think he did the most finishing work he ever did on a profile on that particular one. And it really looks sharp. But I found out what the gremlin was that caused where he couldn't get a flight.
Mhm.
He bought two of those Magnum XLS 15s,
Right.
and they both were in gray, except one of them will turn almost 15,000 RPM on the prop, and the other one on the same prop maxes out at about 13 something, or about 1,000 less, 14 something. And he felt he'd have trouble sinking him, and he didn't want to try it with that. So he came up and looked at what I had done on mine. And the bottom line out of this is, if you're going to do a twin with IC power, buy at least 3 engines, maybe 4, so that you can get yourself a matched pair out of them.
Yeah.
Especially like with these Magnums, you can't buy them anymore. You know, they don't make them anymore. They don't market them. So anyway, but he's getting that cured. He's figuring things out. Leave it up to Gordy. He's a good enough motorman. He'll figure it out.
Yes. I have a few comments in the chat box, and unfortunately, one of them is, it looks like Russian. I don't know what it is, but unfortunately, unless someone out there can copy it and put it in a translator and tell me what he's saying.
That might be our friend from Azerbaijan.
Yeah, that's what I suspect. It looks like the same script.
It's acrylic.
Well, it looks like the same as last week, and
Yeah.
I can't read it. But Jack Snavely and Tom Ramel, he tells me my audio and video is good. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. And then Jack Snavely, he's in here and he's saying he has all these emojis, and I know he likes to say hi all and all around the world. And then old control line pilot, that's Robert Whitley. He's saying that can't join you tonight, but I have a long day flying tomorrow and AM, so shutting down soon. And then he goes on to say, some of the guys are flying control line at the Field of Dreams this evening, and tomorrow should be a good model flying weather also. Unfortunately, working for a living comes first. That's right, comes first.
I wouldn't do that.
Yes. So Howard, do you have any updates on your journey there of the new dog?
I've been posting them on the finishing tips.
Okay, I have to check it out.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how infrequently I'm on Stunthangar.com, the forum.
I can show you the dog such that it exists. Let's
Sure,
see.
let me make you big.
Oh, hey, here we are, big. Let's see. Here are the wings.
Oh, beautiful.
Ooh, nice.
They're pretty shiny. That's one.
Do you have anything on there about the Jive Team Combat?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's the flaps.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, Howard.
Let's see. There's the mid fuselage.
Ooh, nice.
And the aft fuselage. I just paid.
I hope you take this as the compliment. Your plane looks like plastic. It's hard to believe that that's actually balsa wood and plywood.
Oops.
Yeah, I think he's in this area that does not have the best Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I see something on the paint stand there. I imagine that's part of the fuselage.
Here we go, because we're connected again.
That was forward fuselage. Let me turn off the fan. That was the exhaust fan for blowing the death paint. So,
Oh,
Oh,
good. I'm glad to hear. Glad to hear about those precautions.
yeah. Oh, I got more parts. So I have an ARF. We got to stick these things together.
Wow,
There's
look at
the
that.
elevator stab. Stab.
Very nice. And those colors are
Yeah.
really pretty together.
So
Very nice work.
so where's the information about the Jive combat stunt
it's
team?
on the with the combat team. It's forward fuselage.
On the forward fuselage?
In the on the paint stand.
Oh, okay.
I showed the picture, but they didn't have connection there.
Yeah, your bandwidth is really low right now where you're at, Howard.
So yeah, Chris Cox is coming down tomorrow to go to Portland Con.
Cool.
Probably so. Chris Cox is coming down tomorrow to Portland.
Is he bringing you any of those props that his buddy up there makes?
Um, not that I know of. I got some props from Igor, so I'm
Oh. Well, I heard
I guess I can look around prop.
I heard he and what is it, Rena something or other. They're really making some nice props.
Is he breaking up? Is Howard breaking up you guys, or is it just me?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Howard's bandwidth is real low here.
Alrighty. Let me
Is that-
say hello to our other guests. Thank you very much, you guys, for coming in. Mike Lonke's in the house. So is
Hey!
Dennis. Had to miss
Mike.
it.
Yo.
Dennis, I was
I'm-
up all night working on my SV11. I glued that center section on. I had to fill all those voids I made to fit over those bridges. Took out the bridges last week. And so I worked all night. And during the course of work on it night, I came across an old video of, I think, Brodax, where your dad was being presented with the Hall of Fame award.
Really?
Yeah. I just, had I was playing music at times, and I also would have autoplay, and it would just go through the Walt Burnell channel. And I came across your dad's him receiving the reward. So I was just listening to it. I didn't watch it, but yeah, your dad spoke very eloquent, and you can just tell the admiration of so many people there.
Oh yeah.
Dad, it's very, very touching. Saw your mom,
Yeah.
which is nice, and I'm not sure what other siblings were there, but your family, I don't know if it's complete or not.
I'm not sure exactly who was there. I know I wasn't. And that was several years before my first Brodak, but they arranged to do his Hall of Fame there. Surprised him. He didn't know they were going to do that. He and John Brodak were really close friends, so that it was real easy to talk John into letting him do that there. So that worked out well. A few years later, I was there when they had Larry Scarinzi, and I think same one was all right, the father of old time stunt, John
Miskey.
Miller, John Miskey. Thank you. They had his presentations there too. So
It's
anyhow,
good. It's good those guys were able to have that done
Mhm.
for them before it got too much later in their lives.
yeah, it was a good thing. That was a good thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it really was. I mean, because I met your dad in I think 2016, and I remember your dad. I came from behind him, and I said, "Hi, Mr. Admission. My name is Charles Carter," and we shook hands, and he just had this smile of appreciation for me, and that I wasn't prepared for, because I was thinking, is he mistaking me for somebody special in this hobby.
Everybody was special to Big Art.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was amazing because I only there's really only three people in my life. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy named Art Williams, but I met Art Williams, and I consider your dad, and then my wife's grandfather. Those three men knew how to greet somebody, so it's not something everybody can do very well.
True
Mhm,
enough.
mhm.
So it was great to see that. That was wonderful.
You said you saw that on the Walt Brunel channel?
I believe it was the Walt Brunel channel, and it was one of the Brodacks, and I don't remember what year it was. It was just for the most part, it was just people flying at Brodacks, and then the next thing I know, actually, I saw Bob Brookins do a painting clinic, and then they did the award ceremony for your dad, and so I just kind of stopped to look to see your dad and see your mom, and it was cool, very, very cool.
Yeah, we lost mom in 07, so it would have been sometime before then, obviously. Thinking it was 04. I don't know why that number pops in my head. I could probably look it up and find when he was admitted, or when they admitted him to the hall. But,
Man,
Very cool.
You know what blew my mind about your dad, Dennis? Now, he and I had several times where we crossed paths and that, but all those times I didn't have this beard and I had a little more hair up here, And so the first time I come to Brodacks, I'm standing there out by the edge of the advanced circle, and your dad's back with the row of where all the vendors and all that had their tents up. And he's sitting there. I look at him and say, "Hey, Big Art, how you doing?" And he looks at me, looks some more, and he says, "John Miller." It blew me away that he actually remembered me, even with all his camouflage.
Amazing.
well, hey, everybody remembers Santa Claus by whatever name, right? So,
Well, yeah, but I didn't have this beard when I had crossed
okay.
paths before. So
Yeah, but you still had those eyes and everything like that. He would have, I
Yeah.
think he would have seen that. So,
Yeah, well, one of my treasured little mementos of my flying, got it pinned on the hat, is that little pin that he used to give out, the Big Art
Yeah.
pin. Yeah.
yeah, hang on a second. I think I can put my hands on one of those just for
Sure.
giggles here. My mom
Well, you might-
actually had those made up. So they made up a couple of batches of them. So,
Wasn't that off of a drawing by the German fellow? What's his name?
Klaus Makus?
Klaus Mikus. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
You go.
Yeah, we just see your couch. Oh, here he comes. And while you're doing that, here we go. All right.
All right, got to get the thing out of the bag here.
No problem.
I got one somewhere.
You have one too, Howard?
I got one somewhere.
Oh, very cool.
Say, Howard, you met my dad like way back when, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like early 60s or something like that.
Yes.
You met him when he was still middle art, before he became big art. So,
There it is. Get up
Oh.
closer.
Oh, that's cool.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Klaus Makus did Klaus was, I don't know exactly what he did, but I think he was a doctor or something like that, but he did artwork to keep his manual dexterity or something like that. He did beautiful stuff,
Oh, yeah.
cartoon
Is
kind of
that one of
stuff.
those
and
images that if you look at it one way, you see an old man, you look at it another way, you see a hot young woman? Is that one of those type of images or not?
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of looks like that though, doesn't it?
Kind of.
But it was just a beautiful, monochrome, I guess you call it. It's just, just a single color.
Yeah.
And so it lent itself really well to a little enamel pin and stuff. So,
Very cool. That's
and when he got to where he met a lot of international flyers, and whenever you went to places like that, they'd all have like a national, team pin or something like that. And So he had his own pins that he could share with other people when when they'd hand him, he had tons of pins. I think I have to find those for you. But he had a jacket full of pins that
Oh,
he had
cool.
collected around the world.
I'd
But
love to see that.
I think I'll go look for it. But before we do, I would like to talk to Brendan and Engstrom a little bit if we can.
Sure, dude, right there. Hey, Brendan and Angstrom, welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I don't want to keep Brent or Engstrom up past his bedtime, or maybe it was Brendan keeping Brendan up past his bedtime. One of
No, I
them.
get pretty tired too. Yeah, so
Yeah, whatever. Anyhow, Brendan's been asking me to show off just a couple installations on profile ESCs and stuff, and I sent him a couple of pictures, but he was hoping I could give him a couple other things. And I don't know, Brendan, this may not be everything you're looking for, but my personal opinion is that, profile models, whether they're gas or electric, one of the things you want to take advantage of is to make sure everything is done simply and accessibly and neatly.
mhm.
All right. And of course, an electric can be turned into a spaghetti factory if you don't do it right. This is the electric conversion I did for the Brodak Cosmic Wind.
Nice.
And, with the two cheek calls and stuff, it did a nice job hiding the motor. But when it come to hiding the ESC, I was amazed at how well it looked smack on the bottom of the airplane.
Yeah.
All right. Is it really, looking down at the airplane, it's basically out of sight. And then
Yeah.
mounting it on the bottom, it has the advantage of being in the free airstream. It's going to
Yeah.
run nice and cool. This is the hottest part of the electric system, the ESC.
Mm-hmm.
The motor's pretty easy to cool. The timer and the battery even just don't get that warm. The ESC is doing all the work, there's a lot of electrical switching going on and stuff. There's a lot of heat generated there. So it's a good thing to have it in a simple, easy, accessible place. Then one other thing on it is from the ESC, I ran the wire to the timer, which was mounted way back here.
Okay, yeah.
And I have it so that my helper launches the airplane. I always have the helper push the timer since it's a fixed start and everything. I go out to the center, I get my hands on the handle to make sure the clips are straight, get ready to fly, and then I yell start. My helper pushes the start button, and you notice it's right there where he's going to be holding the airplane to launch anyway.
Right.
Gets to it, it's easy. And again, it's out of sight, but it's also easily accessible. If I got any trouble with anything here, I don't have to do much in the way of surgery. I clip a couple of wrap ties. The timer is held onto the bottom of the fuselage with a wrap tie here, another one in front, and that's all there is to it. Okay.
Okay.
You got your battery goes in that hole in the wing.
Yeah, the battery's in the wing, and the plug is right there. So
That's cool.
it's all pretty accessible.
Well, that is a pretty
I've never thought
example
about
of the
this.
cosmic wing.
It's
I've never-
amazing. When you put the second cheek call, I was absolutely shocked when I first put it together in wood with the second cheek call on it. It really changed the whole look of the front end.
And
It was still a profile, but it had a much more finished look. Okay, now I brought this one over because Angstrom, I believe this is the front end that you used on your airplane, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where we're building.
Well, hey, don't hold it in your hand. Put it in the fuselage, man. Come on.
We're close. We're close. We actually got our wing installed last night. We were going to do some final touches, put the magnetic pieces and whatnot.
Yeah,
all
I know. I'm I'm teasing you and everything like that, but
almost-
again, one more time, this fuselage here is only what 5/8 of an inch thick.
Yeah.
A half inch with a 16th doubler on either side. And I'm going to be putting the ESC on this directly below. Now you see where this block is?
Yeah.
That's the hardwood block that's inset there. I've got some hardwood. It's going to have an aluminum landing gear bolted on right there.
Mhm.
Right.
So that's basically, if you get it back by the landing gear, it helps hide it. If you get it under the landing gear, you can really, really hide it. Now the only thing you got to worry about is the wiring here. Usually if I get it ahead of the landing gear, I'm going to have too much wiring. All right.
Mhm.
And so it'll start getting kind of, ugly looking. And of course, the answer is try to clip these leads and resolder, shorten the wires and resolder the connectors back a little farther. Then the other thing I talked about, it's a little hard to see here, but I braided the wires coming out of the motor.
Right.
Okay.
And that has does two things. Number one, the wires come back in a single bundle. Instead of coming back as 3 wires, comes back in a single bundle. And it also has the effect of shortening the wires a little bit.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
And so let's see. We just plug in a couple here. We'll see what we're up against. But again, you can get rid of the spaghetti factory look a little bit. If I put the ESC way back, of course, I can get the wires tucked in pretty well. If I have to put the ESC a little forward to clear the landing gear, not so good, right? So what I'll want to do is shorten these wires some, or do some other kind of routing trick, but try to make the wires look like they're going someplace with a purpose.
Yeah, it looks better. Yeah.
I think if you can get them, when you're looking down at the airplane, like standing over it, if you can keep the wires out of sight that way, that's a help. All right.
Yeah.
And if you can keep it so they're not sticking out too far, that's a help. The other thing that I think I'm going to be doing on this is I'm actually going to cut a small notch out here, about a 1/2 inch thick, kind of bury the ESC slightly, such that it's roughly flush with the bottom line of the fuselage. You
Okay.
understand what I mean there?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and the reason for that, of course, is that if it'll just be a cleaner line to the bottom of the fuselage, but of course with the landing gear right there and stuff like that, it may not be as messy as I'm thinking anyway. But the one thing you can do is like the one side of the ESC is not, this side with the heat sink on it is smooth and flat and everything like that, but that's the side you want exposed to the cooling air too. All right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
The other side is where all the all the components are, where the circuit board and
There
stuff
we
like
go.
that. The heat is on the other side of it. So, and but unfortunately it's not as even, but so, you might, the piece you cut out might look more like a little bit of a wedge actually to get it to sit in there, but
Okay.
you can make it work. And if
So,
the ESCs always goes in the same place, then you can really concentrate on making the wires the right length so that they're not sticking out too far.
right. Were you saying the hotter part of the ESC, like for instance, I use like Phoenixes or Talons. Is it the script side? Is it that side or the back side?
Typically, it's the side that's smooth because there's a flat aluminum plate basically that goes on top of all of the MOSFETs, which are the electric switchers, basically where all the heat comes out. They'll put it in a piece of aluminum on that. Sometimes it gets hot enough, you can see they actually have a finned aluminum piece there. It looks like a heat sink from a computer CPU chip, a computer chip or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they put this fin thing on, then they cover it up with plastic so it doesn't cool very well again. But I've actually taken some of those and I've cut off the plastic just to expose all those fins.
Right.
But yeah, typically the smooth side is going to be where the heat sink is, and that's going to be the hot side.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We were gifted a Pathfinder, and it had like a closable compartment for batteries and such. But I hid the ESC in there, and there was one time it just came out smoking hot. And so since then we've left the compartment off of it just to get air going to it. But
Yeah.
I love love this idea of mounting the ESC on the bottom to keep it cooling.
I've actually done that on some of the my old timer airplanes that are full fuselage, but they tend to be kind of tight around the nose. I've got those with the ESC mounted basically through the planking on the bottom of the nose for that reason, because they got to get air to them.
Yep.
And it sometimes can be hard to get it in, to keep it internal. There's not a lot of room internal to get access to the battery, plus have the ESC in a good place, plus have airflow past it all at one time. You just try to simplify the equation wherever I can.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right too. The old Phoenix, the Castle, Castle Ice ESCs used to have onboard data logging. And one of the things they routinely would log about the ESC performance was how hot is it getting. And I had an airplane with an internal ESC, and the thing come down after what I thought was a routine flight. And it had peaked at like 175 degrees.
Wow.
Which kind of, because nothing else was hot on the airplane at all. Nothing, the motor, nothing was even warm, but the ESC was that hot. And I ended up cutting some extra air scoops into it and stuff like that to try to get a little more air around it. So you can generate a shutdown if the ESC gets too hot. The ESC will protect itself.
That's what happened with us on the Pathfinder when we had the covering on the side. So yeah, that thing was hot, and it fell out of the sky. Instead of going 3 minutes or 4, whatever we had it at, it fell out at about 1.5.
Yeah, but I'd recommend that would be the other way for you to double check, frankly, with any ESC that you're flying. When it comes down, just gently touch it, carefully touch it so you don't hurt yourself. But do that. You can confirm which side is the hot side pretty doggone fast. I have done this on a couple of sport models, but I don't do it routinely. I have cut a hole just inside the edge on the smooth side. I try to cut the plastic off, basically go just around the border there, leave some of the plastic to hold the ESC or to hold the heat sink in place. But I've exposed that aluminum in an attempt to try to cool the ESC down some too. Right. I would do that on anything if I thought I just couldn't get enough air to it, or for some reason if I thought it was running hot or anything like that. But that would be kind of a last resort kind of thing if you couldn't think of any other way to get there. So
would going to a higher rated ESC help with the heat? Yeah.
So anyhow, but yeah, that's about all I would have for advice or anything like that. Just know that that's the hottest part of the airplane or hottest part of the whole motor system, and treat it accordingly. So
yeah. No, thanks for showing that. That'll give us some perspective as we put this together. And then that's the other thing that I'm looking forward to with Brodax is that, with all the great minds that'll be assembled there, in the past, we were just kind of clunking along, just seeing the sites, but didn't really know the hobby and the craftsmanship and everything that goes all into this. Now we're going to be, able to actually just like really take it in, see the plane, see what everybody's got, see the flying itself, and just kind of see how this stuff's really done. We're finally at a place where like we're there to really see the more intricate parts of it, not just the initial show.
Right. And I totally understand that, because sometimes when you go to an event, there's so much going on. I see you trying, I'll be right with you. You see so much going on, it's kind of hard to capture the details because there's so much information coming at you fast and quick. And then once you go there again, you can things kind of slow down and you can kind of see what you really need. And I imagine Tryon has a suggestion for us here. Let me make Tryon big.
Okay, so this is what I've done on a Prowler, basically. I made a firewall here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of 1/8 inch plywood. And it has like a U shape in it. So it goes all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom here, right?
Right.
And in between them, I fill in this little place with balsa like a triangle, and I put a couple more blocks in the front here,
Mhm.
one here, one there, just to make it more rigid, because the plywood is wide and he wants to do this number, right? But as soon as you put the plywood on it, and you're done. One other things you can do, these doublers, you can be 1/32 plywood. It doesn't have to be so thick because you don't have vibrations. And this is basically my setup from the motor.
Mhm.
Go straight to the ESC. And so that obviously the ESC, it's on the side, the timer is going to be on the side too. And this is the battery connection. And for battery connection, all I have is just a box in there. You see it?
Yep.
So basically I have a cut on here, the battery slaps in, and I just put it in. I need to put some better Velcro, but I think if you have the Velcro that goes all the way around the battery to the bottom, and you make sure you smoosh it in, the battery is not going to go anywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And this is just,
I would have built that 180 degrees and captured the battery at centrifugal force, and yeah, that's the way all of mine. That's the way I've done all of them for Brodak now too. Is I figured that was just one layer of safety I could add would beyond that. But everything you have in there is that's classic. So
yeah, this is just as simple as it can, as simple as it gets.
Yep.
And I have no arming plug because the battery has the lead out here. So I'm just taking
Exactly.
underneath and I just connect it right here to the ESC.
yeah, the arming plug is simple is the battery connection, but it's simple, it's visible, anybody can see it, anybody could arm it or disarm it, it will.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
So-
just simple. So this is my take on that. And I like the and when it comes to ESCs, they get hot, it's because this guy is too small. Many times, yeah.
No, I don't think so. The ESC will get small just from switching back and forth. It'll get small if it's passing a lot of current, but
Okay.
I think that's pretty rare. I
No,
agree with you that
what I'm
bigger
saying
motors
is that
will pass less current, but the ESC will get hot all by itself. So,
okay, all right. My ESC in a big plane never got hot, so
yeah, I went 175 degrees in a 42-ounce airplane with a oversized motor, a 10-inch prop. I mean, it was a very, very light, I'll say low power, low drain setup, and it still went hot because
that's
the
odd.
idea of switching,
Yeah, that is very
on
odd.
and off goes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys caught.
That's just odd, man.
I don't know if you guys heard John Miller, but he was asking if you went to a larger or bigger ESC, would that keep it cooler by going to a higher amperage rating ESC?
I asked that when we first started. I got a 65 amp while everybody else is using a 35 with that same thing in mind. And Dean Pappas, who was one of the gurus, if you will, at the beginning of it, just pointed out that there's still just so much going through there, and the bigger ESC would have a higher capacity for handling the current, but there's still just a lot of heat generated from the switching that goes on, and it's just not a huge impact. Probably not a bad thing to do, but not a huge impact. And frankly, one of the payoffs for the larger ESC is that it would have a larger cooling surface. So, but if I would go bigger motor, like Ryan says, bigger motor is not a bad idea in any case. And but 20, I haven't seen a lot of difference between a 25, 35, 40 or 60 as far, from a cooling standpoint. And it's one of the things I guess I try to obsess over is trying to keep the ESC cool. So.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Let me say hi to Lynn Burrell.
Lenny.
Good morning, Lynn Burrell. Wake up.
ladies
Hi
in the
there.
house.
How you doing, Lynn?
I didn't even make it to the show.
What?
I fell asleep
What?
before I got
Your
on the
computer?
show.
Well, he's waiting for you to say hi to acknowledge you, and then he's gonna
Oh
wake
my
up. I
God.
understand.
Oh,
And then
man.
let me say hi to Carl.
I'm a mess. Yeah.
Hey, Carl, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
No problem. You didn't miss anything, Carl. You made a wise decision not to come to Escondido.
Yeah, did you get flights in at all?
No, after you and I talked, on the field, the wind wasn't that bad, but I'm not kidding. It must have been 10 minutes later. It was blowing a Huey. Is that right, Lynn?
Hoolie.
Hoolie?
A hoolie, yeah. Blowing a hoolie.
Blowing a Hoolie.
That's right.
And
Oh man.
so Joe and I, we didn't fly. So we just
Oh.
we went and had breakfast. Went and made pigs of ourselves.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Did
so that was.
Did you get any flying in? Did you get any flying in at all this week?
Well, this week is like a blur. I'd have to
Yeah.
watch Monday's show to find out if I flew.
Well,
I don't even remember.
Make you feel better. I didn't fly this week at all either. I was supposed to go down to Mission Bay on Thursday, but I had a health issue that came up at the last minute, and so I couldn't make it. So.
All right. Well, let me catch up on the chat box, gentlemen. Sparky, he helped me out. He told me what the gentleman. I think you guys are right. The same one from before. He says, "Great to see you all. Good luck to you all in your work, dear colleagues." Thank you very much. That's from the gentleman or gentlewoman. And then that was Sparky. That was Sparky who provided translation. Thank you so much, Sparky. Appreciate it. And Dennis, 2009, he says, Russian translation. I salute you all. Good luck to all of you in your work, dear colleagues. Thank you, Dennis. And Jack Snavely says, wow, that is a real neat electric airplane. And now we've had like 3 electric airplanes. But I think you're talking about the Cosmic Wind, would be my guess. And I was really impressed with that monocoque job or China coat job. And I have a question for you, Mike Lonke. I was speaking to Greg Hill today.
Yeah.
And he's really interested in, like, this is how Greg is. He wants to buy 50 McCoy glow plugs. And he was asking me if where
a lot of glow plugs.
Yeah, that's the way Greg Hill is.
McCoy glow plug. Does Macoa still have them or not?
I told him to check out Macoa, and he said, I think they're like, I don't know if they were McCoys or what they were, but he didn't seem too interested in what they were offering.
What they were offering? Man, I don't know. That seems like you got to go to the Perry, Georgia show or the Toledo show or the Western Modelers, the big giant trade show swap meets to find a card. Well, I mean, shoot, that would be, isn't there a dozen on a card? He's going to have, 4 cards, complete cards to get that many glow plugs. That might be a tall order, man.
I'm sure
that could be a tall order.
If he can get half that to get started. He just, Greg buys things, in huge quantities, right, Carl?
Yeah.
No, I get it. I don't know. I said, swap meet, eBay. Another place he might want to look is if he gets on Facebook and gets on the RC Aircraft Marketplace. So that's a buyer seller place for RC stuff. But you got to join modeling groups, glow engine groups, RC aircraft groups, RC swap and buy and sell. That's another big one. And you just join those groups and you go out there and put a blast out and say, hey, I'm looking for this. I want 20 of these, or I want 50 of these. Who's holding these? If you got them, I'm a buyer. And then, maybe somebody that's in the group goes, hey, I got a bunch of those. I'll let you have them, blah, blah, blah. You got to get out there and ask. I don't think there's any one resource you can just go to and buy them. I think my way of finding obscure stuff or getting stuff has been
to make a post in a group and ask. Anybody got a bunch of this in their basement? Like when you're looking for props or needle valves for certain stuff, what do you do on Stunthanger? You ask. You go, who's got this? Where can I get this? Who's willing to sell me this or that? So you got to expand that by going into all the other different groups that are out there on the internet, because there's a lot of modeling groups out there on the internet. You got to just, kind of pound the pavement and put your query out there and see if somebody comes through for you.
And one last question. The number 3 McCoy, is that the hot one?
Are you saying McCoy or OS? What?
McCoy.
McCoy. Well, I don't know anything about McCoy glow plugs. I know zero, zippo, nada. El Ferraro would probably be your guy for McCoy plugs, I would think.
Yeah.
Or, Denny might know something about him. But sorry I was muted there so long. I was trying to put together a flying day tomorrow. Sam and I want to go fly, but I'm trying to do some four-wheeling with my buddy and his side-by-side and checking the weather to make sure we're not going to get rained on.
No problem.
Got to see if Sam wants to fly RC tomorrow or if we're going to fly control line tomorrow. But got it all worked out. I think we're going to have an RC day tomorrow and a control line day on Sunday. We're going to get 2 days of flying in. So we're pretty happy about that.
Lucky young man to have a dad to fly with.
As I say that, I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna go start charging batteries. I gotta charge a bunch of batteries for the weekend. But
speaking of batteries, because my batteries have been in storage, and in anticipation of flying my SV11 today, I charged my batteries last night. I have 4 batteries, and then when they were fully charged, I did a fast charge. I checked it, and they're at 83%. So I'm wondering what happened to these batteries.
Look, they were at storage, and you did a fast charge, and now they're just at 83%.
Yeah, all 4 of them were 83%.
Why were you fast charging them?
Well, that's what it said. I didn't deliberately charge. I just normally, these are 3,500 milliamp batteries. So I was charging them at 3.5.
Okay, well, that's not a fast charge then. That's just normal.
Okay.
Charge.
My charger said fast charge. So maybe I need to go into the settings and change something.
Okay, Charles, do a balance charge.
Yeah, that was going to be my next suggestion is get your balance boards out and then just hit them again, but with a balance charge.
Yeah, I'd suggest actually if you went out to fly and you didn't fly, do a discharge down to storage and then do a balance charge back up to peak. I think you'll do a little better.
Okay.
It'll take you a little longer. You can put it at the 3.5. It'll fine tune itself, but that will make sure that all of the cells catch up with each other, especially if it's been in storage a little bit. I think that'd be a good idea to do that. Let's say you parked that back in November, as I recall. So,
right.
Yeah, I wouldn't, let's say bring it up, discharge it, bring it up again. So.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll check and see if it's unbalanced. I thought it was imbalanced. I hadn't really changed any settings on the charger. So when I was charging them before and using them, I haven't changed any. So I just plugged the batteries in and just charged them, hit charge. And so I was surprised that they only went up to 83%, even though the charger said they were done charging.
I got a comment for Denny. Denny, I spoke to Gordon yesterday, as I was telling the guys earlier, and brought up the subject of Brodak kidding his new twin. And he said he'd be for it as long as they didn't make an ARF out of it. He doesn't want an ARF meet of it. But I says, if they want to do it with that restriction, then have you got a problem? He said, no problem. So, and in doing that, I've got to finish up the drawings, and I was going to draw it for IC. I'm thinking about sending it to you, so you can recommend the electric, the electric build for it.
Yeah.
instead of a conversion, how to build it for electric. Because I'm still
Okay.
pretty new on that stuff.
Okay. Which airplane is that, John?
That's Gordon's new twin. Stunner.
Okay. I'll tell you, there's a lot of exciting things. Those small motors that Badass is coming out with and stuff. Those things are real game changers.
Oh,
So
yeah.
The you can put a 3.5 ounce motor there on it that'll turn a 10.6 prop. All right.
Wow.
That'll fly. You put a 3.5 ounce motor. I flew a 50 ounce Nobler with one last year. All right.
Wow.
With one. Put two of those on the PF twin, it'll never know what hit it. So
Yeah. Well, his right now is, I think he told me it was 41 or 42 ounces for that twin.
yeah.
So he built it pretty light.
That is light.
But yeah, we can follow up with that.
Yeah.
I was just looking around for something I can't find. It's going to bug the hell out of me, but it's going to have to wait till Monday's show.
Is that
That was the other
like that,
thing. Last
so.
night, I spent hours looking for one thing and then spend hours looking for something else and hours looking for something else. It was like, I was like, man,
Charles, you're a little young for it, but I think it's called CRS. All right. Can't
Yes.
remember stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably why it took me all night to finish all the work I was doing, just wasting time trying to find something.
I found that it took me 6 hours to build that little Delta Dart. Okay. Now, most people can build a Delta Dart in 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what happens when you get older. So welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine how long it takes me to build a stunt plane.
Yeah, I know. It's frustrating, especially if you have a wife and kids, you get interruptions and then you leave the garage and you come back and he's like, what was I doing?
Yeah. Way over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried something. I got shoes with memory foam inserts.
Didn't
They
work.
don't work.
Didn't work.
Not at all.
Didn't help my memory at all. So
I like your shirt there, Howard.
Oh. That's a combat shirt.
Yeah. A real combat shirt there.
Let me make it big, Howard, so I can see the shirt in detail. Oh yeah, the Northwest Control Line Regionals.
Yeah.
Yes, very cool.
Cool.
Very cool. Aerobatics, combat, Navy carrier,
Yeah.
racing, scale, speed. Wow.
has that been held since that year, or was that basically the last one because everything's been hitting the fan?
Well, let's see. 2 years ago, they didn't have it because of the Rona. And last year, they postponed it from Memorial Day to Labor Day because of the Rona. Then on Labor Day, they were using the airport to base water tankers.
Firefighter.
Fires. So this will be the first one in 2 years.
Yeah. I think they said they've been printing T-shirts and everything else, and it's like they've got a collection of T-shirts now for events that didn't happen. But
Yeah.
But EAA went through that too in 2020. So they had a great sale on 2020 EAA fly-in shirts. So or Air Adventure. Yeah.
I didn't quite get what you said, Howard.
They didn't miss anything.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's time for me to get the old Baron in the hangar.
Yes. Put the Baron in the hangar. Yeah.
I'll be back.
All righty. So I'm glad I got my electric SV11 when I did, because they're all out of SV11s.
Yeah, you won't be getting any of those easily anymore.
So those are all gone. I'm so glad I have one. And I actually, and this is probably no surprise to any of you, I did buy another Strega Arc this time. So I have an Arc coming.
Where'd you manage to get that?
Yeah, Brodax. I think as far as big planes that they have left is some T-Rexes and some Stregas.
I actually just got a T-Rex this week.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, an ARF T-Rex.
Yeah, I was debating between those two, and
Strega won out.
Yeah, I decided to go with what I know.
It's all right. Nothing wrong with that. I have one of each. I have a Strega Arc and I have a T-Rex.
Yeah.
I didn't think they had any more Strega Arcs, though. That's good. I'm glad you got one.
Yeah, they don't have very many left. So
I'll
I'm
bet
glad
not.
I got mine.
I'm glad you got one, Charles. That's good. That's why I bought mine, because I thought, you know what? They're not going to have these around for too much longer. If I want one, I better get it.
Yeah.
And that was 6 months ago.
That's what I was thinking. Well, the smartest of us was Mike Lonke. He bought 2 SV11s last year, and they're still in the box, I believe. So he really was thinking ahead. 3 of them.
3 of them.
3. Excuse me.
Well, hey, we're talking about Mike here, right? He probably won one of them on an eBay auction or something like that.
No, I'm flying one, and then I bought 2 more after that. One is built and flying, and then I bought 2 more after that. Because when this guy
Sam,
gets a little bit of muscle, when he gets some muscle, I'm going to put a PA-40 in one of them for him, and if he can hang on to it, he'll be able to start flying a full-bodied PA stunt ship. But
yes, that's a smart investment. I
put him back for when he's ready,
Yeah.
Because when he starts flying a full-bodied PA stunt ship, I'm not building one for him. He's going to start out with a couple of R's first.
You haven't built one.
Right. And we all know why, right? Why do we start with ARFs instead of putting hours and hours and hours into full-body stunt ships when you're new?
Yeah, because it takes hours and hours to build them. Exactly.
Well,
right. Because if it goes south, it can be a problem.
There you go, Lenny. That's it right there. I'd much rather have him crash a Vector ARF or a SV11 ARF than something that we built. As a B11, put a ton of time into. So.
Yeah, like I'll be crying pretty hard if I bust this bear after all the busting I've done building it.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I mean, you know what? It's part of the hobby. It could happen.
Let me shout out to Sam. Hey, Sam, I saw your video flying the Bislob. I was so impressed. I didn't know who it was, and when your dad told me it was you, I was like, "Wow." Very good flying, Sam. Yeah. Very good flying.
You should be thanking my dad. He's the one who taught me how to fly it.
Oh, yeah, we knew that. Yeah.
Well, thanks.
But still,
at
least
Dad.
you are.
Yeah.
You're applying the knowledge. I mean, you can tell someone, do this, do that, but you're actually applying what your dad is telling you.
Absolutely.
And I was really impressed with. I saw at least 2 of them, 2 videos of you flying the Bislob, and awesome flying, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Bislob flying is unlike normal flying anyway, so.
It's different, and you got to stay in the downwind side. That's why on that second one, I ended up about getting hit by that thing. Because I made a stupid mistake, accidentally flying upwind. Unless those things.
Yeah.
Just remember, every Bislob ever made has already crashed. It just doesn't know it yet. All right. So Bislobs are made, but they're made to bounce.
Truer words have never been spoken.
She's all fixed. She's ready to go.
That's it.
Very good.
It's all back together, man. It looks like a Bislob should, right? Patches here.
Patches and holes. Yeah.
Patches here.
The rudder's got until it's got patches.
The rudder's got 5 tons of epoxy and 5 tons of CA with kicker on it to keep the rudder on. So
it's finally broken in.
I mean, It's just when it land on their wings. It's when they really break.
Yeah, if they
Yeah, thank you,
cartwheel,
Carl.
if it hits on an angle and cartwheels, you're gone. It's over.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So
I saw a
All
guy
right.
flying one and the motor quit on him dead overhead.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
I
It
think
landed close to me. Didn't have to walk very far. I shouldn't say landed it.
He was in trouble if he had it right overhead anyway.
Yeah.
So we have a like from Mark Lumen. Thank you very much, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
And right now we have 35 concurrent viewers,
Wow.
19 likes. So please smash the like button or hit it or kick it, but please do something with it. It doesn't cost you a penny to hit the like. And if you do dislike the show, let us know too. Maybe we can do something about it, but maybe that's just how it is. But I appreciate all of us coming into the show, and I appreciate the audience we have. And so let's don't forget to hit the super chat as well if you don't want to do the join the our YouTube channel as far as the memberships, but please subscribe. We always could use some subscribers and some likes. Those all help. And the super chats. Thank you very much.
Charles.
Yeah.
I went through the box of engines that I found.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I now have 3 more diesels.
Wow.
I got an 049 and 2 09s.
Well, just stink the place up.
That's what I'm going to do. You know, I think 09s, I actually, with 209s, I could make a twin. They've got as much power as a 15.
Yeah, stink it up, buddy.
Knock yourself out.
I think I got now about close to 10 diesels. Yeah.
How many motors you figure you got total?
I only got 3 motors.
No. All together, all your motors. Okay. Oh, no.
Oh, your engines. There you go, Len.
Probably be about 75 or 80.
Okay.
I don't have I don't have as much as some guys do.
We're all somewhere between generally 50 and 100.
Yeah. And see,
some of us a little more, some of us a little less.
I'm the one that sold off a lot because I was going to go primarily to electric, but I didn't want to get rid of any of my stalkers. I just love the way they run. So
there you
kept
go.
all the stalkers, but I got rid of some Super Tigers. But I think I got rid of about $700 or $800 worth of motors, engines. So yeah, it was. But anyway, it was fun going through that. I found I had almost a box for almost every engine that I had. You know, that I saved the box and put it in there. So now I'm going to store all those boxes. I've got things like mufflers in those boxes. They're going to come out and be put in a muffler box.
Yeah, I got a muffler box. It's getting bigger by the day.
Yeah, I know. Especially those big old Super Tiger mufflers you get in there. You know,
no. Those great big Super Tiger mufflers, I just throw those in the garbage. I don't even bother with them.
Yeah, I call those boat anchors.
Yeah, the boat anchors go right in the garbage. I don't even bother. It's like, what am I saving this crap for? I don't have room for this. Goodbye.
Well, look at the size of these mufflers on these PAW diesels. There's the muffler right there.
Yeah, nice and compact.
Yeah, pretty small.
Is that a 40?
That is not a 40. No, that is a. I'm not sure. You know, I've got one here that I know for sure is a 40 or bigger. Let's see, where am I at?
Higher. There we go. Cool.
Okay, there's the one I had. You can see this one is a handful, but they don't put the motor size on it or the engine size on them. And so I'm not sure. And I've looked, and there's nothing on there that tells me what the size is.
Interesting.
You know, yeah, anyway, I know how to find it out. But this muffler also is the same pattern as this muffler, you know. And I don't know the significance of the black head on this. This might be a dual ball bearing. So I'll have to go through PAW's site and read up on their engines. I don't know. I got a wild hair for diesels a long time ago, and I actually had a K&B Sportster 28. Davis Diesel did a conversion for me on it, so I've got a Davis Diesel head on it and a new crankshaft in there because the crank that comes with the Sportster isn't strong enough. It's a very weak, poorly made crank. You know, it's basically a slag motor to begin with. So, but as a diesel, it runs really good. I've actually put it on a twister. It's a 28, and I've flown competition with a franchise twister in competition with it, and did just fine. Didn't win, but you know, I didn't crash either.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
You know, I noticed. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Anyway, I'm interested.
I noticed the kit thread on the Stunthangar today, so I went down and counted all my kits accurately, and I found out that I have 17 kits.
Wow.
I have 17 kits. Naomi has 9, and I've got parts and pieces of 4 other kits.
Well, you're going to be busy this summer, aren't you?
Well, that's not just for this year. That's kind of like for the rest of time.
For the rest of your life.
I should.
Oh, you mean like you're never going to get any more kits?
Oh yeah, like really.
I'll take that bet.
No, I mean,
I'll take that bet too.
I mean, I'm already excited about that Shark 45, Dennis. I don't have anything for that yet.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything about the 100 or so plans I've got.
Well, you know, I always liked that Shark 35. One showed up at, well, actually, a couple of them showed up, but Bob Whiteley actually had one at VSC, and thing flies very well. It's a sweet flying airplane. Really looks good in the air and on the ground. So I think I'd rather have that than the 45.
Really? Wow. I've heard that the 35 is a shark killer, but I have a Shark 35 that was built and by someone else, and I need to put a engine in it and a fuel tank. But it's never been flown. The lead outs aren't even terminated.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want it, send it my way.
No, I'm curious. I want to fly it. I really want to fly the Shark 35.
Yeah, well, I think you'd like it. I never flown one, but I've seen enough of them to know that, you know, everything John was saying. I mean, that's a darn good. Should be a darn good airplane for you.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be fit. Might not do well with your 88 in it or something like that. But you got an LA or something like that. You'll be doing just fine.
I'm not sure.
Stalker 40.
I'm not sure. I'm either gonna put a Rodak 40 in it or a OS 35S.
Are we for
it's
weight?
Really light.
OS 35S would be a real good choice. That is a really sweet running stunt engine.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't weigh much.
Yeah. I really actually like this Super Tiger. I mean, the OS 35S. I actually really like that motor. It's a very nice motor.
It's very well behaved.
Yeah. Runs. The 4.2 brake on it is so nice. I mean, the first time I flew one was when I flew John Wright's Tudor 1 at Brodax, and I was just amazed at that motor run. I was like, and then I came across another plane. It wasn't mine, and it was a OS 35S, and that was a beautiful run. I said, oh man, I just got to get me one of those motors. So
Dennis used to be the king of the OS 35. I remember.
I bet.
He was the king of the OS 30. He was flying the OS 35 after everybody'd gone to big planes and he was still
Yeah.
beating everybody with it.
Yeah. You like long wings too.
Well, I don't know. I had, I think I had 16 OS-35 airplanes.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
a pretty good record. You've run a few of those.
yeah, and it all ran them all the same way and everything like that. It was, that was that. So what can I say? I never bought into the Tiger 46s, and everything else was seemed a little flighty. Went away for a few
Do you
years and
remember
things
what your
settled
setup
out.
was?
Oh, really? Just 35 with a rev up 1060W prop, Camby 100 fuel, which is like 7% nitro and about 18% oil.
Okay.
Uh,
Caster, synthetic, or a mix?
was caster.
Okay.
Yeah, the early synthetics didn't seem to be too friendly to the OS, and
Okay.
I would when I came back, I only had 135 and it didn't see much point to use it, so I set up an LA40 and I was using 10% Omega,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
was primarily Klotz and caster. I think it's like 3% caster and
Yeah.
15% Klotz, something like that.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that ran really nice. But,
Okay.
Did you ever put the crank out of a Super Tiger 35 into the OS 35? Or was it the connecting rod they wanted? I mean, maybe it's a connecting
It's a
rod.
connecting rod.
I never
Connecting
replaced the connecting rod, so I've taken that on. I take that from other people. So
Well, Glenn Dye, I don't know if you know Glenn Dye, but he's from out here in Utah. He has a business where he used to make the TRW racing engines. And if you can get him to hold still long enough, sometimes he'll rework an engine.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the Super Tiger Conrad people used to drop in.
Yep.
I think the G2135.
I think you're right. But what Glenn would do, he drilled a couple other small holes in the bottom end to just make sure you got oil in there. And he took the top of the piston, went down just a short distance, put a little teeny line around the top, and then down a little bit more, and another line around the top. And that was to help carry the oil up into the top of the cylinder.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've got that still, and it's a sweet running engine. But he told me that the stock rod would die. It would just wear out.
A lot of people say that, and I don't know.
They don't have a bushing in them,
Did you have any trouble with them, Dennis? The stock rod?
I never replaced one.
There you go.
There you go.
You must have been using the right fuel.
Must have been, because the thing is too is that you don't know what kind of use the end use is going to be on that OS 35S. A lot of guys get them and they run them for race.
Yeah,
I'm
if
not
you're
sure.
running, yeah.
Yeah, I was always curious about that because we certainly, between my my family and I, we ran enough of those things. We should have been mainstreaming Super Tiger Conrods, and we never had to replace any of them. So
wow, that's awesome.
Well,
I don't know.
You weren't running them hard enough.
I tell you, you guys were very fortunate, and I salute you for it, because I running with the Super Tiger rod, I've never had a lick of problem with that engine ever. And so I don't know how true it is, other than that Glenn Dye, who's an engine maker that I respect, told me that I should do this, and he had the rod there and he fitted it into there. So
I don't know, the Walker Cup winner was a 56-ounce, 625 square inch airplane. Today people would be putting 60s in it.
Yeah.
So,
well, when I took the Electra to the VSC, first one that ever showed up there, people didn't know what it was. They thought it was a High Johnson design, but it had that same OS 35S in it, 10-4. No, I think I had the unobtainium prop, the 10-5 or 10-5.5. I think we twisted it a little, tweaked it a little. 3-blade, black 3-blade. Who made that?
Yeah,
The rev
the
up.
Electros,
No.
Dick Williams used to run McCoy 40s, didn't he?
Yes,
And so did Bart, I think.
yes. And they
Okay.
it's called a California Power Setup. They had these starts with a G.
Grisham?
Grish. Yeah, Grish. 3-bladed, black 3-blades. You know, and I'm fortunate because they're unobtainium. I'm fortunate I've got like 3 or 4 of them right now, just for the future.
Yeah, I have one left, brand spanking new, but remember they used to tell you to boil nylon props and stuff. I guess they dry it out and stuff. How do you suppose, this great brand new gray nylon prop, when did they stop making those? About 1985 or so,
About then, yeah.
Yeah. What would the life expectancy of that prop be today?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
2 minutes?
Yeah, start it up and start walking away.
Well, I don't know. I'm running them, I'm running them on my what is it? The Torino, and I'm running one on the All American Eagle.
Keep your goggles on.
I hope so.
I wouldn't run one on anything.
No, I'd have an awful hard time running them on that. I visited the Half A Forum, and they were talking about somebody had taken one of the little testers, ready to fly engines.
Yeah.
And it apparently did some tricks on it. He had the thing running like 16,000 RPM with the little fly prop on it. I says, holy crap, man, that's like playing with a hand grenade, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That little rubber prop that they had, it wasn't even nylon. I think it was made out of vinyl or something. Like it was very flexible and hard to break and stuff, but it would explode. That motor never ran 15 or 16,000 RPM,
Ever.
Well,
wow.
I don't think the black Grish is really purely nylon. It's more like a poly, not a poly, but
was
more
that
like
the glass reinforced? Yeah, maybe that's different.
But you see, the white ones were nylon.
That was the top flight ones you're talking about, right? The white.
No, I'm talking about the Grish 3-blades. They had a silver one.
Yeah, Len's right. I think the top flights were the worst of the bunch.
Oh, yeah. If I even see one of those, I just drop it in a garbage pail. I wouldn't even try to run that on the worst old bathed out motor. Not for anything.
I've got to go let the Baron out of the.
All righty.
I used to have one of those hanging in my garage, and I threw it out because I was so afraid that somebody might decide maybe they'd try and run it on something one day. So I just tossed it in a pail.
Yeah.
It's funny. I found one of the yellow Grish nylon props. I had in a stack of props that I hadn't used for a long time. I just saw it sitting there, and I did exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I just don't trust it.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I just, maybe it's okay, maybe it's not, but the consequences of failure are just too doggone.
They're catastrophic. Exactly.
Yeah, they're devastating. So, I don't know if modern, if any modern props, APCs or the master air screws, they're all a different material. I don't think anybody's making a true nylon prop anymore, are they?
Not if they're smart.
Well, hey,
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, they were a great idea. It sounded like a great idea at the time,
I mean, back in the day when they were actually making them, I never had one explode, but I heard stories of them exploding, and that was good enough for me.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of the yellow Grish. I don't know, I think Howard might even be able to source it. I've seen the yellow Grish prop that one blade had stretched on a combat engine. One blade had stretched about a half an inch or so.
Whoa.
It didn't let go, but it was like an 8.8 or something like that. And on one side it was like an 8.5, 8, and the other side it was normal. Howard, do you remember that? Somebody in one of the combat forums, I think, posted a picture of that.
I don't remember seeing the picture. I've seen things like that happen.
Yeah.
Wow. That's scary stuff.
But oh well. On to better days, I guess. So
Yeah. To each his own.
And John, when John's not there. I was going to say
Yeah,
when
he's gone for a pizza.
When he starts his motor, I'll be perfectly happy to stand behind his airplane. So
Yeah.
So
I have a question from Mark Lumen. He's asking me if I have a balance plug for my charger. My charger already has the balancing capability built in. It's a new charger I bought last year. I can't remember the brand, but it has that already built in.
Yeah, you plug in the charger probably through the main battery connector, and then you plug it in from the balance connector, right?
Yes. Yeah, I have two.
All right. One thing that you can do, even while they're charging or discharging, if you plug it into both, put it in a balance charge or a storage charge mode, either one will work. And if you push I think the plus button, while it's in cycle, push the plus button, and the display will change and it will show you the voltage on each cell individually.
Right.
And I'm taking a swag here that you're going to see that at least one of the cells is out of line with the rest of them by a substantial amount. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know.
When I saw them, they were very close.
Okay, if they are, that's a good thing. But I'm thinking that either either when you charged it, they didn't get balanced, or your charger was looking for. Make sure you're not on the high voltage setting, because there's some LiPo batteries that are capable of being charged to 4.3 or 4.35 volts. And some that are only capable of 4.2 volts. If you overcharge one, bad things happen. Or if you're checking the voltage, using the other, then obviously you're going to get a bad reading. I've never heard of that happening, but it's possible to do that. So,
all right, I'm going to discharge them anyways, and
yeah,
and charge
unless
them
you're going to go fly tomorrow, just discharge them, maybe charge them, discharge them again, go through a couple of cycles on them. It's not going to hurt a thing.
Right.
Hey, I got a question about charging batteries. I was kind of told that it's best not to be leaving your batteries charged for really any given length of time, except for, like maybe a couple of hours. So what we tend to do, and I guess others can weigh in, maybe that have been around batteries a lot longer, but like the idea of like charging them tonight to fly tomorrow isn't as good as charging them in the morning to then go fly. That's what we try to do, but that's not always easy when you're in and out of hotels or whatnot, going to a flight.
Yeah, I've charged when I was at BSC and stuff like that. I was trying to charge up the night before, fly that day. If I didn't fly them that day, I would discharge them when I got back to the hotel, and then recharge them again, in the evening, late at night.
Yeah, I guess I was fed for longevity's sake that it's just not good to leave charged for extended periods of time. I mean, you could probably get away with, a day's worth of charge or something, but I don't know. I was just kind of sold, from a maintenance and keeping them for longevity.
Well, that's a good idea. I usually charge mine the morning I'm going to fly.
Yeah.
I get up, I go out to the garage before I have breakfast. All right. Excuse me. I go out to the garage before I have breakfast. Plug everything in, come back in, have my coffee and cornflakes and all that kind of stuff. Do my Wordle, all that kind of stuff. And by the time I do all of that, the batteries are peaked and ready to go. So it takes 45 minutes to an hour usually. So
right. Another kind of tip we've been given as well is that, like, if you're only flying a couple of batteries in competition or whatnot, but you charge 4 or 6, you could at least just put them on the balance board after the flights, and that'll kind of start leveling them out between themselves so that you don't have whatever 2 or 3 batteries sitting there full charge the rest of the day until you can get to a point when you can discharge the whole thing. So just put them on the balance board starts, moving like leveling them out kind of naturally.
Yeah, I don't use anything with a big balance board, so I can't help you there. I usually have, my packs are plugged in one at a time to the charger. I don't have a gang, board or anything like that. So
that's what I've been. Again,
Okay.
like if I go out there, let's just say I went to the field to actually fly, and I had 6 batteries, but storm comes up or someone only got through 2. I've been told you can just put the 6 batteries straight on here, and you had 2 that were kind of discharged, 4 that are full, and just by putting it on the balance board alone, it starts lowering them to more of where the storage level would be. Now on something like this though, obviously these are live when you got batteries in the balance board, so you don't want to hit those together, but just letting them sit on here for just a minute or so will kind of take them. And again, that's more maybe just being over the top for longevity's sakes, but that's what people told me.
that's probably not a bad thing to do either. But
I'm charging 14 batteries tonight to fly RC tomorrow because I don't have time to charge 14 batteries in the morning. And there are various stuff. Some are 2S, some are 3S, some are 4S. But I've never had an issue with RC charging the batteries the night before to go fly the next day. I haven't noticed any decrease in flight times or anything like that or power.
Yeah. And again, maybe somebody's just being over the top with me on it, but I don't know.
I would probably be more careful with my 6S batteries for my control line airplane and try to charge them the day of flying just because of all the stories. But we're flying RC garbage tomorrow, so who cares,
Right.
How much current?
We're gonna head out for the evening. So have a good one, fellas.
Hey, thank you, Brendan and Angstrom, for coming in. Appreciate it.
All right. Later.
What were you gonna say, Howard?
How much current is there flowing between the batteries when you connect a charged one directly to a discharged one? I'd be afraid to do that. I made a device that has a 100 ohm resistor in it, and I connect batteries together. I
think we lost Howard. I lost the audio at least.
Oh, rats. I was looking forward. I was really listening there too. So,
are you back, Howard?
Yeah.
You missed something after you said the 100 ohm resistor.
100 ohm resistor. Yeah. I use that like for going home from a contest when there's a charged battery and a discharged battery. We connect them together and they eventually end up about 50%. But I'd be leery of just shorting them out together. But if the current is reasonable, like that would be an okay thing to do. Put them on your balance board. So what's the current?
I don't know.
We can find out.
Yeah, I have an amp meter.
Yeah. Oh, good. We'll find out with your batteries. That's what I want. I want to find out somebody else's battery.
That's funny.
And Charles takes videos. All right.
Yeah. Well, Howard, I'm not discharging anything right now. I'm charging, so I can't use my batteries. I'm sorry. I'm charging right now.
We had a guy at the RC club meeting, what, week and a half ago, brought in pictures. He totaled out his Ford pickup truck. He had a in-car charger, charging the battery, sitting on the seat next to him. Got to the field, got out, walked around, whatever, come back. His truck is all smoky and everything like that. And basically had a battery fire on the leather passenger seat, burned up the seat, burned up the charger, messed up all
Oh,
the
crap.
interior. The airbag system was shot, everything like that. The insurance people totaled his pickup truck because of
Dang.
this.
Well, now,
Wow.
was he plugged into a cigarette lighter or
Just
into a
plugged in,
110
just plugged into a
outlet?
cigarette. He had a cigarette lighter charger, and he was using that to top off some batteries on the way to the field.
Huh.
Yeah, it's not a good
Wow.
idea. Yeah, I wouldn't
And he
use a
says, well,
cigarette lighter.
next time I'll have the batteries in an ammo box. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if those batteries are burning, it don't matter what kind of box you got, that's not going to
Yeah.
keep it
So
from burning your truck up.
did the battery cook off or did the charger short
Apparently
out?
the battery cooked off, but again, it's hard, but you that's a hell of a question because it seems, something went wrong in the charger that could have set it off. I think ultimately it come down to the batteries going off, but it could have been something in the charger made them go off. So,
Ultimately, what it was, the guy wasn't there to see what was happening.
well, if he had been there, he might have had a chance to respond to it, but,
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and I think
wow.
it may have had something to do with the fact that he was driving the truck, charging through the outlet, shut the truck off depending on if the outlet was switched or not,
Yeah.
it was,
Wow.
hot wired to the key or whether it was on the car battery, that might have had something to do with it too. There might have been some kind of a back feed on the current or something. I don't know, but all I
I
can
just,
think of is, gosh, his lipos did that to his truck. I just got hearing aids with rechargeable batteries, so
yeah,
I don't want those things going off here. So
I would suspect that car charger, the cigarette lighter, just wasn't built for that kind of current.
yeah. So
Would have
And
blown
I
a
don't
few.
know what year the truck was. I mean, I know that now the charging ports in modern vehicles is more robust, but still, yeah,
yeah, it was
I
a
would,
recent truck. I don't know where the hell he found a charger that plugged into the cigarette lighter. I haven't seen one of those quite 8 or 9 years. Well, no, 2008. I think we got the first couple of chargers. There were a couple of chargers there that you could plug into your cigarette lighter, but they were not very robust. They weren't
yeah,
big
yeah.
chargers. They didn't pass, big
It
batteries or
wasn't,
anything like that.
Dennis,
So
it wasn't an old Traxxas RC car charger, was it? Because
I don't know. I don't know. It
Traxxas
was,
Traxxas still makes an RC lipo car charger that you plug into your cigarette lighter.
okay.
But it's just got the banana plugs, the 4 millimeter banana plugs, so you can plug in different leads to it. But you can plug it right into your cigarette lighter.
Whoa.
I have a charger for charging my Park Flyer batteries that plugs into the car cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Don't do it, man. Don't do
No,
it.
I'm not. I'm going to throw the goddamn thing out. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well, those
cost
Yeah.
are,
anything.
though, again, those are small batteries, low current,
Yeah,
probably a lot less risk and everything
probably
like that.
safe, but even still,
Yeah,
I just don't like it. I don't like that idea.
preferably I'd charge the battery and take it with me and fly the
Yeah,
battery and bring it home.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it is this way: the car manufacturer didn't make it, did he?
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the car manufacturer doesn't design the cigarette lighter to charge batteries for model airplanes.
yep.
Exactly, Lynn. Exactly.
hmm
I mean,
Maybe
guys
that.
can do whatever they want. You can hotwire anything any way you want, but that doesn't mean that it isn't going to blow.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind using I have an inverter in my vehicle. I would use that, but I wouldn't use my cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I've got an inverter that plugs in to a cigarette lighter that I have plugged my 1-port battery charger into to charge a battery on the way to the field. But
Oh,
that's cigarette lighter to an inverter. Right. I got it right
I
here.
should have explained. My inverter uses jumper cable batteries that connect to the battery.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
not like your
this
typical.
one here. This is like 1200 watt inverter that I can plug in, right?
Yeah.
And then I got 2 plugs in the front, and I have charged batteries for electric RC planes going to the field with this, and it's never gotten hot. The other thing, this has like a shutdown on it too. If it's drawing too much, it just doesn't work. It's it's over.
So, yeah.
It won't work. It shuts off.
1200 watts.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
You got 100 amp. You got 100 amp cigarette lighter outlet.
I'm just telling you what it is, Howard. Man, I used to have a 3200 watt inverter that ran off a cigarette lighter.
Really?
I think
Yes.
I think Howard's making an interesting point there. I think it's to the fact that you got about a 10-to-1 safety margin or so.
No, there's a fuse in there, and an 800 amp fuse.
No. It's probably on the cigarette lighter. It might be a 20.
Yeah,
maybe.
Hey, I gotta ask, in your Tesla, do you got any made for model airplane outputs on that thing?
No.
You got a shit ton of battery there. Oops, sorry.
There's a lot of battery, yeah, but it's inaccessible. Just like the one on the Prius. You think you can charge it with a Prius battery too, but nah.
Okay.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
All that electricity and no place to go. Yeah.
I was going to say you could charge your batteries in 30 seconds or less with that. But, yeah.
I have a related story. You know these power banks that you can use to add power to your cell phone and stuff with a USB outlet on them. They're handy for Jedi boxes for one thing, but I was going to charge one in the Prius, and the Prius has a USB outlet. So I plugged this thing into the USB outlet and it blew. The USB outlet in the Prius, and I presume other Toyotas, is not fused. And you blow a circuit board that costs $150 to replace when you try to charge a hefty load from that USB outlet. So don't
do it. Oh,
I had
man.
something like that happen in just my my little Chevy Cruze. It's not it wasn't a fuse. It was something in there that had to take it into the shop, and they had to take the instrument panel apart to get to it. It was some kind of a switched relay or something like that. But yeah, it was not. Luckily, I was still under warranty. They didn't charge me a dime for it, but it was not not an auto parts deal. So
Might have been a fusible link. It's a little bit different than a fuse.
Yeah, not that much.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If it's built into the bowels of the automobile and you can't get at it, that's.
Yeah, I was surprised because I never thought a USB circuit would be rated anything like that. I mean, I didn't think they passed anything to speak of, but.
Well, these chargers, phone chargers and stuff like that are often 2 amps. I think there's common chips. There's a 1 amp chip and a 2 amp chip.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about right. Yeah, I like those cans you have in front of you, Howard. What do you use those for?
Putting paint in and stuff. They're from Boeing Surplus Store, the late Boeing store.
Yeah, there's some nice big mouth lids too. That's pretty
They
neat.
look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're great paint cans.
Well, a lot of good stuff from that store, which they did away with.
Yeah,
how's the plane coming along?
Okay, I got all the paint on. A lot of it's polished.
All right.
Yeah, it's. I have an ARF kit, pretty much. I got to hinge the flaps in the elevator. And
Getting down to the final details, Howard.
yeah, well, not the final details, unfortunately.
No, that's true. They still got to mount all the goodies in it. Yeah.
So what is your preference of hinges? Do you like the barrel hinges, the clet? Do you use
Clet.
what do you use?
Flat.
Okay.
I
Use the
I know-
big quarter scale clet.
No,
Okay.
I know a guy who bought like 10 pounds of clat hinges when they were going out of business. So whenever I build an airplane, I go beg some from him.
So I have my second one built too.
All right, let me make you big
All
here.
right.
Hang on, let me find you. There you are. So here we go. You're spotlighted now.
This is my second one.
This is the second one. Nice.
Wow. Nice.
Oh,
Very sharp.
very nice.
All right. Looking good.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that business end. That looks nice.
And again, the same signature, you know, when you put them together, like they feel nice, you know. This one I decided just to paint on the outside, the top of the canopy, because it's just too much, you know, too much to worry about. But
Oh,
Very good.
beautiful, beautiful mirror finish.
Mhm.
yeah, I have this elevator on the top of the computer desk. And the
Yeah,
wings
so
are here, of course.
Now, are you going to use this? What do you call that? The snowboard containers to transport your plane.
yeah,
Nice.
pretty.
Very nice, Tryon.
Very nice.
Yeah, you can see the.
Can get any
Very
better
good.
than that.
No,
That's awesome.
I can almost see some of the cavities.
That's
Ooh,
it.
ooh, that hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
mine's
that's it.
but it's lumpy. Here, I get it.
Very nice, Tryon. Very, very nice. So, Tryon, are you
This
going
is
to put it
painting
in
them all too.
Are you going to put it in a snowboarder's box? Or how are you going to transport your planes in the airlines?
Well, I did go to this place. It's called Reliable Hardware. You can find it on internet. And what they do, they sell you the components, the stuff to make any box, any carrying case that you dream of making. So if you guys are curious, I can show you something here.
Yeah, I am curious.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
All right.
So
I couldn't even see my
this here,
wavy.
these are all a bunch of aluminum extrusions.
Right.
So basically, when you build a box, you have this aluminum extrusion that looks like a double L, and you insert the plywood in between them.
Okay. Right.
And then you have the corner pieces that cover the whole thing, right?
Right.
So you put the plywood in this aluminum extrusions,
Right.
and you rivet them in because everything is held by with rivets. And I also went one step farther out. Obviously, I couldn't stay there. It's a caster
Very
that goes in the
nice.
corner of the box, so I
Yeah.
can just put two wheels on the back side.
Yeah. Very good.
And with a handle in the front, I just pick it up and go. So long story short is the fuselage is gonna stay side by side like this. I'm not sure. You can see this. So it's gonna be like this, 1, 2. They're gonna stay like this side by side.
Right.
Okay. They're gonna be a little bit staggered, you know, just not like that, but they're gonna be like that, one in front of the other one a little bit, right?
Sure. Okay.
And the third one is gonna go like this. It's gonna go like this upside down. And like this.
Cool.
Wow, that sounds like a nice tidy package.
So this is gonna be like this, right? Kind of like that.
Right.
It doesn't take much space, as you can see that. And that's 3 planes in one box. So that's the fuselages. The nose is gonna be separated. So the fuselage is gonna stay like this. Then the nose is gonna stay straight up, 1, 2, 3, side by side, next to them. And then the wings are gonna stay kind of like, if the fuselage is like this, the wing is gonna stay like that, right?
Okay.
So you can imagine the fuselage ends over here. So the wing is like that, right?
All right.
So, so I have the 3 fuselage stacked in one compartment. Then I have another compartment here where all the wings are gonna stay in there. And the wings are pretty compact too. I mean, just if you are looking at 2 wings like this. So instead of going like this, right?
Ooh, nice.
You actually go like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see
I get it.
it takes very little thickness, almost like about 3 inches or so. So the wings are gonna stay like this, 1 set, 2 set, and a 3rd set in their own compartment in there. And the elevator is gonna stay like this next to them in the same spot.
Wow.
What are the total dimensions of your box?
This one is gonna be relatively big. It's gonna be about 42 inches by 42 inches long, about 15 inches tall, and about roughly 20 inches wide. And but I have room for so what's going to happen in the top cover, I'm going to have like an L-shaped compartment, which is fairly thick. It's about 3 inches thick, right? And inside this L-shaped compartment, I can put lines, cables, all kinds of stuff, right? The noses are going to sit like this, and I have some more space behind them where the caster is going to be from the box. So I'm going to stuff my charger and anything that's heavy on that one corner, right? Because they're going to be on the bottom. As you lift up the box like this, the caster is going to be here in this corner, and the charger and everything is going to be on that corner on the side.
What airline are you
taking? In a cover, which is removable. When you open it, you just take the hinges off. It's like the hinge is removable, right? So you put it on the hinge and close it in and just lock it up, right? And
what airline taken?
Huh?
What airline?
Lufthansa.
Have you looked at their website?
Yeah. And these are the kind of locks I'm going to use. These are the stuff that you see on those. It's just like this, rotate, and it just come apart.
How much is it going to cost you to carry that box?
$70. So it's for the extra baggage. I had to pay for it.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
I've gone on Lufthansa. I'm going again, but I thought they were limited to 60. I guess I haven't gone, but we're going on Lufthansa this summer. 62 inches was their maximum, but maybe
it's maximum length. Yes, 62 inches. That's all airlines. 62 inches maximum length. Mine is 42. Yeah. And if you add the length, width, and the height, it has to be under some other number. And I'm well within those numbers.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was 62 total, but maybe that's for free baggage.
It depends what kind of ticket you buy, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to buy the ticket which I purchased, is kind of cheap, and so I had to pay extra for the baggage. Actually, the round trip to Romania cost me about $750, which is not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, I had that 62 number. I made my box to make my little trip to Las Vegas. 62 for all 3 dimensions. And I think I had a 60 or something like that. That's what I came up with, just cause. But yeah, Howard, I was definitely worried about that. And that was the limit to the size of the box that they'd let me take. There was no such thing as an oversized box or anything like that. So that was just a local airline flying little Airbuses. So
Yeah, the old days we used to.
We lost you, Howard. Your audio went away.
Huge.
By the way, trying, I meant to say, welcome back. Hadn't seen you for a while, so.
Yeah, I've been busy, man. I've just been busy.
That's
I mean,
all right.
I built 2 planes in this time.
That's wild. I don't know how you do it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not hard once you have the molds. I mean, but it takes time, you know. It just takes me about a day to prep them, and then another day to paint them, and another day to say do half of the molding. Let's say wings and tails, and another day to mold the fuselage, and then takes me another 2 days to put the fuselage together and the wings together and the tails together, just assemble them right. But if I stay on top of it, it's just like you just have to stay on top of it, and if you do that, you get the job done. Yeah.
Hey, Tryon, I have another question, Tryon. I'm just curious. So how are you going to separate the planes parts from each other? You know, as far as the material to insulate them so they don't rub on each other or cause any damage, or what are you going to do?
Some of that reflective foam. Bags of reflective foam.
Okay. All right.
And I can just put them in a bag and just wrap them around, put a piece of tape, and it's plenty of room in between them to have a little bit of cushion in there. And the same with the wings, you know, I can just make like a U-shaped foam, you know, and just put another U-shaped foam and stuff like that. I have plenty of room in there. I mean, more than enough.
Very cool.
For what I need, yeah.
Wonder how many orders for boxes you're going to come back with.
I'm not gonna make that. I'm sorry. Like I have roughly 200 rivers to do that one box. It's nuts. No. Hell no.
I still bet you'll have people want you to build one for them.
Yeah, I believe you.
Hey, you might want to get a pneumatic rivet gun.
Yeah, for that much stuff, yes, you definitely would do that. So yeah.
Go to Harbor Freight and get it
But
cheap.
this thing is very compact. I mean, even if I had a single plane, I could just put the wings like this. The fuselage would definitely would fit like this on one side, kind of underneath, like that.
Yeah, you're right. That looks compact.
And then I put the nose in here, in this direction.
Wow.
And this box is about 6 inches tall. Not even that. I mean, it's just 6 inches tall, and it's about 42 inches by, I don't know, about 18 inches tall. But it will be a very flat, very small box. Yeah.
Very nice.
Imagine if we carried our normal airplanes around like that. Man, we have them all banged up. It'd be a mess.
It would be a mess. Yes, it would be a mess.
There's advantages to carbon fiber, obviously.
Yes, and you can see how just nonchalant he is, just
Yeah.
as opposed to I'd be all hands. Hey, Steve Hines is in the house.
Hines in the house. Hines
Yeah.
is in the house.
How's it going, Steve?
Pretty good today.
Good.
You look kind of red. Was you out in the sun? Was you working hard today or what?
I don't know why I'm red. Just maybe my blood pressure's up. Who knows?
I thought maybe you might have been working on a car or something, or doing something in your backyard?
No, I haven't been doing much for the last 3 days. I took a pretty good fall and
Oh,
no,
no.
Steve. I mean, you got to really be careful, man, because some people end up with long-term care just because of a fall. Actually, most end up because of a fall.
What were you doing?
working in the yard and stuff, and I was getting a chain and stuff to pull some stuff out in the yard. I
Okay.
caught, it's a thing that hooks on a tractor so you can hook a bag to it and stuff. It's a little chute type deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it has like a handle, a quick lock handle. And that caught my pant leg, flipped under my foot. I stepped on it and it put all the weight on my left leg, and it did kind of like I was at the Nats. It does something to that nerve in my back, and my leg just collapsed and down.
Oh,
I
shoot.
Oh, damn. Wow.
thought I dislocated my shoulder. I couldn't, I
Oh.
bent my fingers backwards. My middle finger still is a little bit
Steve,
sore.
I'm so sorry.
And hit the side of my knee. That's what's the worst. I just can't hardly go up and down stairs right now. But
I
and
guess we'll have to be nice to you tonight, then.
Yeah, let's be nice to Steve tonight.
No,
I
let's
don't
not.
matter.
I'm not going to be nice to him. I'm going to be as mean to him
I
as
know,
ever.
because he has not been so nice to you sometimes.
Darn right.
But in
Okay.
love, I mean, he just has that quick wit. He's not necessarily mean-hearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am sorry for your luck, Steve, but hey.
No, he means it, Charles. You know, he means it. So yeah,
Well, you do talk to Steve a lot. So
that's
you
all
probably
right.
do.
Yeah.
You and
No,
Mike
pick-
Larkey talk to Steve often.
But I
Yeah.
did get a little bit of sanding done the last couple days,
All right.
but I still can't find that 2-foot standing bar of mine. Maybe I loaned it to somebody. I have no idea.
Did you hear what happened to me,
happens.
Steve?
No.
So I was so determined to get the SV11 finished. I stayed up all night in my garage working on it. And at 6 a.m, I raised the garage and it's damp outside. I could not believe it. I mean, because we've had beautiful weather all week. I didn't even think to check the forecast. So, I mean, I haven't had any sleep. And I got the SV11 done. I find the ground wet. And then there's blowing a hooey.
Bully.
Really.
Yeah. So it's like I'm just frustrated, but it's the SV11 is ready to fly.
All right.
And I'm really convinced
That's a good
that
deal.
it is as the integrity that it had when it came from the manufacturer. I'm sure it's at least that and some, because I really did a really good job filling all those voids. The voids I made
Did
for
you
the bridges.
get somebody to help you try to
No, I'm by
stretch it or-
myself, so no, but it feels
Bills?
it feels.
Does it feel
bulletproof.
different than it used to by yourself?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's much more rigid the way it is now than compared to the way I had it before. So I can't wait to do an inside loop, and I'm hoping that it shocks me in a good way.
Electric, it should.
I think it will.
Yeah, I think it will too.
Yeah, I mean, being damp outside, it could have shocked you today.
Yeah.
Go out in a thunderstorm, you'll get shocked.
Yes. Well, I missed a comment from Brent Williams. He says, "Hi guys."
Hi, Brent.
Hey Brent, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it very much.
So,
And,
Tryon, you're out of here tomorrow morning?
No, next week.
Oh, next week. Oh, okay.
Hey guys, because I didn't get any sleep, I'm not going to stay in the after party, but I'm going to shut the live stream down. But I want to thank everybody for coming in, and the people in the chat box. And we had, at the height of our show, I think it's about 38 people watching us live. Of course, we're going to get lots of replays. So thank you very much. And those of you who are still watching, if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. It won't cost you a penny to do that on your way out. And if you watch this as a replay, please remember to hit the like button as well, and consider subscribing and joining our YouTube channel. So this is Friday night, and I'm going to leave someone else as a host, and they're going to party on. So if you want to come on in, go to the Stunthangar facebook.com/SMF and go to At the Bench and click on the link with today's date. And that'll bring you into the after party. That's only if you're a member only. You can't do it if you're a non-member. Anyways, that being said, I'm going to say good night and see everybody Monday